All right, pre-show shenanigans. You guys know the drill. Now, yeah, Super Bowl weekend, cool and all. We're gonna take this time in the pre-show to talk about some things bigger than sports, because some things are bigger than sports. And the biggest thing that's been surrounding the news cycle, the media recently, is of course the UFOs going on. What the hell is going on? Are aliens like now? Remember, guys, UFO does not mean alien. Okay, unidentified flying
Flying
object
object.
does not mean alien, but
But
aliens.
aliens? I don't know, man. I don't really know. What I do
I
know
would
is
say I am in the camp. I had a physics teacher back in high school, and his whole take on aliens is that if we have no proof of ever contacting them or seeing them, then I'm not gonna believe that aliens exist. That was his reasoning, and I
okay.
understand that. That makes complete sense.
Okay.
But I would have to, um, politely disagree. I'm under the impression that if the universe is so big and so expansive and whatnot, then I think it's a little arrogant to think we're the only living things out there. I think it's a little, yeah, no, arrogant. I think it's like there's no way we're the only life. And
I agree.
when I say life, I'm talking any type of living thing. Okay.
Okay.
I, I'm not gonna say a tree or a plant, okay? But if there are cells that they don't even need to develop anything, but if there's cells that could be what you or I might consider an animal or
Something
species,
that's
then that
alive.
counts.
Something that's alive.
Like trees and plants, okay, I won't take that.
Okay.
But something that eats and moves, okay, something, okay,
Okay.
that moves around, all
All
right.
right. Okay.
This is another thing. I think we need to classify aliens in two categories. First, just a living thing. Let's say there's a in Star Wars, that one planet that Luke's on, those little cute little penguin things. That's what I would
Oh,
consider
yeah,
just
I got what you're saying.
life. Just a planet of little tiny, like cute little penguins or something. That's just life, okay? But there's life, and then I would consider like intelligent life or advanced life, like what
Yeah.
we think of like Star Trek, Star Wars, aliens
The
flying
shit
in
that the shit that
ships
we the sci-fi
around
shit. Yeah.
life. That I would classify as like a advanced upper higher intelligence form of life. I would say there's two different distinctions. Now, I'm in the camp that there is most likely some little planet of little tiny cute penguins out there somewhere. Okay, I'm in that belief.
Okay.
I'm not entirely sold on the fact that there is another advanced civilization with the capabilities of cross-planet travel. That I'm not. I
Okay.
don't think that's. I think we might be the only one. And we can't even travel cross planets. So technically there are none.
I can feel that. Okay. I mean, like my thing, I think that it definitely exists. It's just a matter of how far away they are, and we're not going to be able to figure it out for a long time. So if anything's going to
Yeah,
happen, they're
I
going to
would
have to come to
also
us. They're going to have to come to
I
us.
can at least at the minimum say in literally, let's say the universe, I don't know, think of the universe as like a giant circle, right? Let's
Yeah.
say Earth is in the very middle, okay? I would say there's a limit radius of distance that Earth could travel literally in the history of humankind, okay? In
Okay.
my opinion, I I would kind of be under the impression that we could be the only living form, and I'm talking microbe level, in our radius. That I can also accept, but to say the whole universe, no, 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 no.
Yeah.
I can accept
Yeah.
our reachable
Our
space,
reach.
but
We've
not
also, we've also,
everything.
we've also already found planets that like can inhabit life. So I feel like it's only a matter of time before we actually find one that does, or they find us. But
This
with
is
that,
something.
I'm gonna have to cut us off here because otherwise we're becoming a space
Last
podcast,
thing.
and we've
I
we've
just
already
want to
got an
say
episode on that.
something that I've heard. There's a chance that like a billion years ago or whatever, like Mars or something could have had life on it. We
Yeah.
don't even know that could have happened. Like, who
Could have
knows?
happened. It could have happened. We really don't know.
We have no clue. So yeah, that's all I gotta say. UFOs, they're real. Oh, and then the last thing, the F-16 that was going down to shoot the UFO, they missed their first shot, and that missile cost $400,000. All right. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Waterboy Podcast. Today it is episode number 92. We are 8 episodes away from triple digits. Once we get to triple digits, Everett, we're going to be giving area code shout outs. So every,
area codes
are 3 digits. We're going to be shouting
Yeah, okay.
out our
All right.
listeners in each area code. Once we get up to the 3 digits, I'm not sure if there's a 100 area code. I don't know if I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll find out every episode.
We'll learn.
We'll find out every episode. But we're very close to 300. We've been a year
300.
in, or sorry,
100.
Really close. I'm thinking
To
3
100.
digits. I'm thinking.
Yeah,
3 digits.
you're pretty far ahead of the.
We're very close to episode 100. Football season has wrapped up, but that doesn't mean the Waterboys are slowing down. That means the Waterboys are speeding up. Actually, without football content, we actually have to try way harder.
We do have to try way harder.
But thankfully, some things in the news kind of did our job, made our job easy. So, of course, we have to start off with this Everett JuJu Smith-Schuster versus James Bradbury on Twitter. Starting off with the Valentine's Day jab. Let me pull up the exact tweet, Everett.
Go right ahead.
Smith-Schuster tweeted out, "Happy Valentine's Day, everybody." On the card, it says, "I'll hold you when it matters most," with a picture of James Bradbury.
James Bradbury.
Very funny. Okay, very funny. When I saw that, my instant reaction was like, "Oh, JuJu woke up." So violent.
It was funny. I'll give him that.
And
although
as
AJ
a USC guy, JuJu, I know he's on the Chiefs. We don't like that, but it's JuJu, so he gets a pass in my book.
AJ Brown kind of blew him out of the water.
Following that up, instead of JuJu versus Bradbury, we go to JuJu versus AJ Brown. I'm gonna direct quote what he said, Everett.
Please do. Please do.
First off, congratulations. Y'all deserve it. This is lame. You was on the way out the league before Mahomes resurrected your career on your 1-year deal, TikTok boy. He admitted that he grabbed you, but don't act like you're like that or ever was. But congratulations again. Party, confetti emoji, clapping emoji, and double pint beer emoji, little clink emoji. So, AJ Brown. What a clapback. What an answer.
A major clapback.
So
he basically just executed JuJu on site.
So the thing is, my one reaction I could think in reaction to that is like the Stephen A. Smith, like, we all know it's true, but you didn't have to say it. You didn't have to say it. That's we all know that everything AJ Brown just said describing JuJu is 100% fact.
100%.
We knew he was on the way out of his league. Mahomes literally revived his career on his 1-year deal, and he is TikTok boy. Everything he said was facts, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing fiction there. Yep. So that was like the most obvious jab, the most direct jab that JuJu could take. And AJ Brown went for the jugular, Everett. He went straight for it.
You can put it that way. I would say it was even more than the jugular. It was everything.
JuJu's response, "Glad you were finally able to get all that off your chest after all these years. Good game, bro." After all these years,
what years? What years are we talking about
your
here?
Career got resurrected that didn't make much sense, JuJu. Like,
yeah, I mean,
the clapback didn't quite.
For somebody who went to USC,
AJ Brown won.
For somebody who went to USC,
did not graduate.
Okay, that makes a bit more sense now. All right, that makes a bit more sense.
Didn't. Well, I think he came. Shit, I think he went back and got his degree. Fuck.
That might be a stain on USC's resume.
I can't use that excuse.
That might be a stain on USC's resume. I'm not gonna lie. That's
yeah, you guys are gonna have to take that up with his professors, not me. I'm not the representative of USC. But yeah, JuJu got put in a body bag. Funny, hilarious tweet about Bradbury, but a little unwarranted. I'm a little biased, and I thought it was fine, a little poking fun. But AJ Brown had the right to respond, and he put you in a blender.
That's to say the least.
Yeah.
So JuJu came back after that and was apologetic. He was like, we're not apologetic. He was like,
Well,
like he like
afterwards,
was
he
just kind
literally
of took
went
it.
and told on him to Patrick Mahomes, and had Patrick Mahomes had to go subtweet out like on behalf of JuJu. Like literally, AJ Brown replies. I need to pull up this track quote. You're gonna love this. AJ Brown replies. Oh, he deleted it.
Did he actually?
No, he deleted his reply. He replied saying, wow, you really told on me and had to hide behind your boy, like talking about Mahomes. Like, wow,
Yeah.
such a bitch move. Like all that. Like, oh my god, it was so funny. God, he deleted it, but yeah.
But I mean,
AJ
that was
Brown
great. Just, I mean, I honestly,
murdered.
JuJu really didn't do anything this year.
This year, he was also banged up a lot down the line. Yeah, sure.
But even in the
In the
Super Bowl,
Super Bowl, though, no, he was so good. He was so
but like
good.
the thing that he was making fun of, it was like the thing that JuJu was pointing out, like I get it was a joke, that kind of stuff. But it was like James Bradbury like holding him. If like JuJu wasn't gonna win that route either way. So mean, I don't really
I
know.
would actually say that's debatable. I was in the belief that Bradbury was fucking phenomenal core. I've been hearing that all year, like everything I see. Yeah. And that JuJu put him in a blender. Like, nah, JuJu would have toasted his ass on that route. I actually think he would have toasted him. I do think though that ball was just overthrown in general, and I don't think he. I think even if he didn't hold well, maybe Mahomes would have had a different pass. But if
Maybe
that play just resumes, like that ball was so overthrown.
it looked like it went out the back of the end zone. So I mean,
like
yeah, not good, not good.
look at it. You could look at it how you want to, but yeah.
So yeah, I don't. But it was definitely a very interesting uh set of tweets to wake up this morning to for any NFL follower.
Yeah, no, it's great entertainment. This league, the drama never stops. And I mean, I I don't know if the Eagles will be playing the Chiefs. JuJu, who knows if he'll be on the Chiefs next year? Probably not, I guess. We'll find out. We'll see. Maybe he bought time back there. I don't know.
In other news relating to the NFL, Derek Carr was cut today by your favorite team, the Las Vegas Raiders, also the hosts of the Super Bowl next year. I just find it. I know you have a point to make on this, but what I do want to just say is this is why like no trade clauses and stuff become an issue, because the team inadvertently screwed itself, because Derek Carr basically strong armed them into releasing him, because either they were going to get slapped with $40 million guarantees, or they were going to release him and not have that money on his cap, because the only way to trade him was if they were willing to take that cap hit, which they can't. So yeah. just I mean, like Lovie Smith said, fuck you on the way out to the Texans. Derek Carr, exact same thing. I don't know who the GM of the Raiders is, but not making some smart moves recently. I don't really know what's going on over there.
Yeah, Dave Ziegler, GM of the Las Vegas Raiders. Pretty sure he just showed up.
Okay.
Pretty sure he just showed up.
Like last year with Josh McDaniel.
With McDaniels. I'll be honest. I probably should keep closer tabs on my rival, but I mean, after going back to not last season, but the season before, how it ended against the Raiders, I wasn't researching Raiders shit. No. Every time I saw a Raiders logo, I had to cry. But
yeah, not a great look for it.
If anything, I want to give Dave Ziegler a shout out for doing the right thing to a man who has gone above and beyond for the organization. Derek Carr is a Raider. He like embodies that team. He like drives the culture of that team. I want to shout out Dave Ziegler for doing the right thing, cutting him, not trading him, fulfilling his request. I know there was a no trade clause, but I also, part of me feels like Derek Carr is a stand-up dude who would have waived the no trade and taken.
No, Derek Carr. Derek Carr told the Raiders he wasn't waiving it.
Oh, well, that never mind.
There goes that argument.
That really changes the whole point and everything. Never mind. Actually, this is forget the point I just made. New point. Fuck you, Derek Carr. You scumbag piece of shit. Do you know what the Raiders have done for you in your career? And you fucking do this to them? Say, oh no, you have to cut me, bro. 65 million guaranteed, and you suck dick at football, bro. That is the favor that you were given. You take the fucking trade, Derek Carr. You don't deserve to be released and pick which team you go to. You're about to go cripple another franchise when you join them. You should do the NFL a favor and retire.
Wow. That was I mean, that was pretty poignant. No, but I will be interested to see where Derek Carr ends up going. I really like, I honestly think he's probably gonna end up with like the Colts or some shit, like just some team that really is like kind of not gonna be important. It would be wild if he ended up on the Packers.
This could be a fun little game. Which veteran will be the Colts quarterback next year? Derek Carr? Who are other guys in the running?
Jimmy Garoppolo, Andy Dalton, Jameis Winston, depending on how shit goes with the Saints.
Jameis's potential. Sure.
Let's see.
I'll give you that.
Let's see here.
Tannehill.
Well, it depends what they. I mean, he's still technically under contract, so. Right, he's still under contract.
I'm not even thinking about. I'm literally like.
He could be traded or something.
Of players that would be on the Colts. Just who would the Colts? How would the Colts fuck up this year and get another 32-year-old quarterback who sucks? Oh, Heineke,
Baker could go back. Sam Darnold.
Sure, I'll throw him in there.
Jacoby Brissett makes a comeback. Joe Flacco.
No, too old.
That's saying something. If a quarterback's too old for
I'm saying like 28 to 33.
So Mike White will be 28.
We can give or take up.
Mike White.
I will count that. But it's going to be just an average quarterback.
Teddy Bridgewater.
Nothing special on the list.
I'm
just talking average quarterback.
Average.
When you think of game manager, like this guy pops in your head. Like that's who the Colts are going to get.
Trace McSorley.
No. He's a baller, dude. He's a baller, bro. He's a baller.
Gardner Minshew.
No, too much of a playmaker.
He is going to be 27.
Age is somewhat. I'm talking just pocket passer.
Gardner Minshew is going to be 27, and he hasn't really gotten a chance to actually start in the league. That sucks.
But he has the greatest job on earth, being a backup quarterback.
He does, but he also vibes, which sucks. I
don't think Gardner Minshew deserves a shot to start.
Sam Darnold.
Maybe. I think maybe Darnold's.
I'm like looking at all these. I'm looking at all these free agent quarterbacks. I think the most
likely are like the Jimmy G's of the world.
Like where do you think Sam Darnold? Where do you think Sam Darnold will go?
Play for the Colts.
Where do you think Sam Darnold will go? Like just actively thinking, looking at every team that has quarterbacks, these free agent quarterbacks. Like some of these players who were first round picks or have been starters aren't going to be starters.
Darnold's a USC guy, and I will never forget when he won the Rose Bowl against Penn State. But like, I hate to say it, but he's going to go be a backup for the rest of his career now.
Like where do you think? Where do you think Baker Mayfield will go?
I think he could get the Colts spot.
I think he. I'm not going to lie. I think he might come back to the Rams, and I think Stafford might retire.
Maybe. I have no idea. Well, part of me thinks if McVay's coming back, then Staff's coming. Like, I don't know. Like, Aaron Donald's
I think McVay
not retiring anymore. Like, I don't know.
I think McVay actually kind of fucks with Baker though, because like they actually
I think he does.
They did pretty well this year with Baker at quarterback.
They were good down the stretch
with Baker at quarterback. Yeah, I mean, if your quarterback's headbutting, like, see, that's fraud alert, but that's some BS.
Yeah, there was alleged rumors that there were padding in his headband, but hey, neither here nor there.
Alleged. Waterboy analytics.
Capital J journalism.
But yeah, just very interesting to see where everybody will end up. But I know you had something specific about Derek Carr that you wanted to talk about related to the Raiders.
Yeah, so this move frees up a lot of space for the Raiders with Derek Carr leaving. Right now, Everett, the Raiders have $46.7 million in cap space, which can take on the Aaron Rodgers contract, Everett. So now, Everett, your problem might become my problem, Everett. I might have to go up against
like we said,
the second coming of the boogeyman, and then Broncos country, let's ride. I might have to go up against Aaron Rodgers, the second coming of Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, and Broncos country, Russell Wilson, let's ride. Twice a season. 6 games a year.
6 games. Oh, Lord. Oh, my God.
Oh, God.
If Aaron Rodgers goes to the Raiders, does the AFC West become the
Sean
best?
P's the coach of the Broncos, dude.
If Aaron Rodgers goes to the Raiders, does the AFC West become the best conference in the NFL over the NFC Beast?
I mean, if my team's in there, they can't be the best conference. So no. But on paper, yeah. But end of the season, they won't be.
I'll find it interesting how Josh McDaniel kind of coordinates it if Aaron Rodgers ends up going there, because we know that the end game is definitely for Aaron Rodgers to be like, that's probably who they want to get.
100%.
And
it all makes sense looking at just the cap.
They're in a position too where they're like, I mean, their defense isn't great, but like they're still trying to compete. Not saying they will, but if they get Aaron Rodgers,
they got good pieces.
If they get Aaron Rodgers, they definitely become one of the favorited teams, because any team with Aaron Rodgers instantly is favorited by the media.
And it's
so
Davante
Adams. I'll find it interesting how they scheme it up, because like the thing that rubbed Derek Carr the wrong way was the way that Josh McDaniel kind of like broke down film and stuff, because he would call you out, and he called Derek Carr out a lot, and Derek Carr took it as like physical shots. But we both know that Aaron Rodgers is a no bullshit kind of man. Like he's probably gonna go and make fun. He will make fun of Josh McDaniels for trying to make fun of him.
100%. I mean, I'll never forget when Aaron Rodgers, he was asked, "Can you describe your relationship with Matt LaFleur?" And he said, #best friend goals. Like, I mean, if that isn't the most petty way of saying I fucking hate this guy, I mean, like, come on, like.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting. But if they don't get Aaron Rodgers,
I'm looking at the Raiders draft count. They got pick number 7. I mean, if I'm Green Bay, you better fucking give number 7 up. Like, you better give number 7 up for Aaron.
But if you're the Raiders, let's say you don't end up trading for Aaron Rodgers, do you draft like CJ? Do you try to get CJ Stroud at 7? You try to trade up?
I think we go defense with this pick, or trade down, get more asset. I don't think they should draft a quarter. I think the Raiders have a roster constructed where like they could be a quarterback away. Like they could be. Okay.
So then what do you do if you don't trade that pick? Then what quarterback?
Try to get Aaron Rodgers more than anything, and try to get it done before the draft.
Are you trying to get like Jimmy G then if you miss out on Aaron Rodgers?
That's a settling guy. You're settling if you're getting Jimmy G.
You're operating
the way it's looking. You're basically go get a big name guy.
You're saying Aaron Rodgers or nothing. That's what's going on.
I'm saying, just looking at like in terms of a winning next year, like if they don't get Aaron Rodgers, then I don't think it's going to be bright at all for Las Vegas. Like if they don't get Aaron Rodgers, rebuild.
You shipping off Devontae?
Have big pieces. They got Devontae. They got Crosby. They still got big ass pieces, but they're not doing shit. They're not doing anything. Like, no, they're not.
So if you miss out on Aaron Rodgers, you're saying you just ship off Devontae. You try to recoup the assets.
I would get rid of Devontae, because I'm also kind of under the impression, like, I mean, if you're not competing,
why not have
these assets? Like you might as well.
Like, trade the older, like developed assets, not like the ones that you're trying to.
No, not young. I'm saying like Devontae and Max Crosby.
Yeah,
because you can get hauls for them.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I think Crosby.
Do you think what happens now? What happens now with Josh Jacobs? If they let's say they get Aaron Rodgers, what happens with Josh Jacobs?
We'll see how their salary cap works, because Josh Jacobs has commanded some money. So
I think that would mean Josh Jacobs wouldn't.
No. Yeah, but I would rather have Aaron Rodgers than Josh.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, obviously. obviously.
So I do think though they have to give up that number 7 to get Aaron Rodgers. You're the draft expert. I'm not sure. Like, I think they would have to go defense at that. I wouldn't want them to go offense there. I don't think going like Stroud there.
I
would fix,
personally,
like,
I'm not gonna lie. Personally, what I would do if if I'm the Raiders, would be I'm picking a quarterback there most likely because I'm not trying to get that number 1 overall pick. I don't really know, like, unless like maybe you can get Will Anderson and somebody who's going to be really good, maybe Devin Witherspoon, something like that at that 7 pick. Like, if you get CJ Stroud, let's say you trade Devontae Adams, you trade Max Crosby, you go full rebuild, right? And you're just going to build around CJ Stroud. Maybe even you could even say Anthony Richardson if you want to go that high and get him, and then have him sit behind a quarterback. I also don't like that. I don't think that he's a first round quarterback. But intangibles are good. So people will make picks based off of that. Same reason why Will Levis will be a first round quarterback in a top 10 pick.
I think he's actually going to be number 2 in the draft.
Like I said, he's
going to be the quarterback for the Houston.
It Texans. Is the 2021 NFL draft all over again.
I think he's going to be the quarterback for the Houston Texans. I think he's going to be Will Levis. And I say thank you to the Houston Texans for not drafting CJ Stroud. Please do.
DeMeco Ryans, please do
not draft CJ Stroud.
You know what? You know what, Texans? You know what, Texans? Don't draft a quarterback because you're going to be so bad that you'll get Caleb Williams next year. That's what you should do. Draft a positional player.
Go get Jalen Carter, dude.
Get Jalen Carter. That's literally what you should do. Get Jalen Carter because
Carter and Stingley being ballers in a year or two when you
either get Jalen Carter or you get Will Anderson. Literally, that's what I would do. Literally, Jalen Carter or Will Anderson, unless Bryce Young is sitting there at 2.
Yeah, and Bryce Young.
It is Bryce Young or Bryce it is Young nothing.
Did not go number 1 in a shock.
It is Bryce Young or nothing.
Yes. Yeah.
Literally. No, like seriously. I don't understand why so many people are thinking like if I'm the Texans management right now, right? I know their fucking GM is literally like nuts for brains. Like it's bad. Like or literally rocks for brains. But if I'm sitting there too, one, I'm not trading up. I'm not wasting my assets for that. I'm letting the pick fall to me. And if I don't get a quarterback, all right, bet I'm going to pick Jalen Carter, who's prospectively one of the best defensive linemen to come out in the last 10 years. Monster of a human being. Okay.
And Will Anderson, both.
I'm going to pick him or I'm going to pick Will Anderson. I'm going to develop up my defense, which is, by the way, my head coach's specialty. The guy I just hired, that's his specialty. So I'm going to develop them. And while I'm doing that, you know what? My offense is not going to be good enough to the point where I'm going to be able to win next year. So I'm going to get that number 1 overall pick. And guess what I'm going to do with that number 1 overall pick? I'm going to get Grant's perennial best quarterback in college football. That's what I'm going to do.
College football playoff era. Okay. I'm not saying he's not better than Vince Young. Okay.
Fair.
The college football playoff era. Yes. I'd take him over Manziel. Yeah, I said what I said. Give me Caleb over Manziel.
I don't think that's a hot take.
Yeah, I was.
It's really not a hot take.
I was like,
yeah, hold on. I do want to.
Caleb had Mike Evans.
I do want to go back. I do want to go back to the preseason. Now that you reminded me of this, there was a clip. I don't think I made it to TikTok, but I essentially said Johnny Manziel is a better quarterback than Zach Wilson. I said that.
Fuck, that would have hit too. I remember I was on like, no.
You're like, no way, dude. You can't say that. Like, that's too much. Well, guess what?
No, it wasn't.
Guess what, man? It was pretty fucking accurate. I'll say it right now. You know what? Let me say it again because it could still.
I actually agree. Johnny Manziel showed higher promise at his biggest stage in his career than Zach Wilson ever did.
Johnny Manziel is a better quarterback than Zach Wilson in the NFL. Johnny Manziel has made better plays. I don't really know what else to say. That's it. That's about it.
I won't include. Don't put in any explanation. Just the
Johnny Manziel.
Johnny Manziel.
Johnny Manziel is a better quarterback than Zach Wilson.
That'll also get more interactions. Don't put any explanation.
It's probably going to be too short, so we probably just won't upload it. I wonder if I actually did post that. I thought I remembe making. No, I didn't. I made it. I made the clip, and then you told me not to post it. That's what happened.
Yeah,
it's in there.
I feel like we didn't do that. But also keep in mind, Everett, Houston's got pick 2. They got pick 12.
They also have pick 12. So literally refortify that defense unless you're going to pick like Jordan Addison or something with that 12th pick. Like get maybe a wide receiver that will develop who's younger. So when you get your quarterback next year, that Jordan Addison to Caleb Williams connection.
Well, my only counter argument to that is if Garrett Wilson didn't have Joe Flacco, oh my God, people would be looking at him as like one of the biggest busts ever. And I fear for the quarterback situation in Houston, like if they draft a big name wide receiver like a Jordan Addison, Jason, or like, I don't know, Quentin Johnson, I guess that'd be kind of cool, TCU to Texans. But like if they draft a guy like that, like I don't have high hopes for that rookie. I'm not sure how much development will be going on, just how shit the offense will be. I feel like you're better off doing defense. I feel like you're better off going double defense and no, you're picking out to pick at 12.
You're going to pick at 12. You should pick at 12. Yeah. I think that with that 2 pick, if it's not Bryce Young, go get Jalen Carter. And then with that 12 pick, all right, maybe you can get Devin Witherspoon, one of those other top corners. So then you have Stingley and him combined, like they're together, which that would that could evolve into being the best secondary in the NFL if they develop properly.
I mean, to be honest, okay, Everett. Okay. This is my quick little Houston preview. Bryce Young goes number 1. Chicago trades out. Someone takes Bryce Young. I don't know who Chicago trade with, but they take Carter at 2. They trade down from 12 to 18, and they take Nolan Smith edge, and they get another second-round pick to move down 6 spots. Who says no? If I'm Detroit, no, Detroit definitely won't trade up. Okay, the point did not hold, but I think Nolan Smith would be.
Detroit does have an extra second-round pick right now because of the Vikings, by the way.
Oh yeah. Ooh, wait.
So
this could work. This could work. Maybe the Lions want to move up to 12 and get like a corner.
They'd probably go.
Oh my God, to go like because Okuda's
not good. Devin, you could get Devin Witherspoon at 12.
I think actually I'm kind of with
that
this
could work.
Lions. You know what? I might have just constructed my first pre-draft trade that might make sense.
You know what? Maybe. That might be a clip. That might be a clip.
Did I just do what Mel Kiper does? Did I just do what
you might have just
does?
You might have just done it.
Did I just do what they did? Damn,
well, congratulations. Congratulations.
Just took a little bit of thinking. God, it's not that hard. But yeah, Texans can make some interesting moves. But okay, Aaron Rodgers to the Raiders though, like that move's freed up. We'll see. I also think.
What do you think? So here's the thing.
CJ Stroud, please. I know he'll have Devon.
You're in contention right now.
Devontae's gone.
This is the thing. The Raiders are in contention with the Jets for Aaron Rodgers.
Now the Jets draft capital.
The Jets have Nathaniel Hackett, and the Raiders have Devontae Adams. All right. So either both of them, let's say they're even. All right. Let's say they're even down the middle for that.
You got 2 strong pulls.
You're looking at draft capital. I do not think that the Raiders would give up a first-round pick for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I feel like that 7 pick is extremely.
I think that if I'm the Raiders, I'd probably give the Packers a second-round pick, a future second, and maybe like a third or some shit. Because the thing is, like, you're not guaranteed that Aaron Rodgers is going to be there for more than 1 season. You don't know that because the way Aaron Rodgers is, you're taking on massive caps, and if he decides he wants to be traded, he wants to be traded. He's not going to be in Green Bay. So it's out of Green Bay's hands, really.
I'm also thinking though, I feel, let's say Vegas, they don't want to directly give away this number 7 pick. Do you think there's any chance that Vegas gets in contact with another team with a later first-round pick and some more assets to trade up for that 7th? They get in contact with the team, find out their pick, and then tell the Packers, we're going to trade for this pick, give that to you, but we are waiting for you to give us the green light. Yes, Aaron Rodgers for that.
I think that's possible, but also, so here's the thing.
I don't know if those
listen to this. No, I mean, it does in the NBA, it does in the NFL, but it's just it's kind of weird. It's like rare.
It's in the NFL, because I feel like the NFL.
It is legal.
Find out your plans and just be like, "Fuck you." Now we know.
It is legal, but yeah, that's true. like I said, I don't think the Raiders would be willing to trade that 7 pick. I think you'd probably do 2 seconds and like a third or something like that. So it's still pretty marginal. Like
No, a lot.
on the scale of kind of like how everything plays out, like that's basically
2
equivalent
seconds
to
and a third is
that's
more. I
equivalent
would
to
say
like a
that's more
first
than a
round.
first.
That's
Maybe not
probably
the
a bit.
7th pick, but
That's probably equivalent to like like probably a number 10
15,
overall pick,
16.
something like that, like a top 10 to 15 pick. If you then look at the Jets this year, right? The Jets have 2 first round picks. The Jets probably, if I'm the Jets, if I have to make like,
Wait,
I
so
would
the Jets have 13, and then what's the other
like
pick
26 or something.
I'm
like
looking at it right now, and it says they only have 1, but I also could have sworn they had 2.
I thought they had 2 this
I
year.
could have
Let me
sworn they had
check.
2.
They could have
So
traded it for something.
I feel like we've already had this discussion. Let's not waste time. They only have 1.
Okay, they only have 1. So if I'm the Jets, like it's still a later pick. Like I might be willing to give that up for Aaron Rodgers because I feel like I'm that one piece away. But even then, like I'd probably be like,
if they give that up, we're getting Aaron Rodgers like and a third.
I'd probably also be like, you know what, Green Bay, I'll give you Elijah Moore, a second, and like a fourth, and I'll give you.
I thought you were about to throw in the Zach Wilson.
No. I mean, if I gave you if I decide to trade Zach Wilson, like I have to pay you to take it.
Yeah, I'm giving you draft.
I'm giving you picks with Zach Wilson. So I'd probably be like, here's Elijah Moore, take my 2nd round pick, my 3rd round pick, something like that. Because then you're getting a guaranteed like player. Like that's what the Packers need is wide receiver help. So if you're doing that, you're giving them another young wide receiver to develop with Jordan Love. You're getting a 2nd round pick that's a high 2nd round pick, still a 3rd round pick that's a high 3rd round pick. I think that that's honestly a better trade than what's going on with the Raiders.
I could also see a really good chance that the Packers, let's say Jordan Love is the presumed starter going into the year. They don't get any other young guy. They don't draft anyone. I could definitely see them signing some old vet like Andy Dalton, who will end up starting over Jordan Love after probably to start the season.
You know who it'll be? It's either going to be Mike White or Jacoby Brissett.
Brissett, Packers. Now I know you want that more than anything, but
he actually is not bad in a starting role though.
Oh,
he won more games this year with the Browns than Deshaun Watson did.
Okay, sure, but he's not. He ain't. Oh, you would be foaming at the mouth to go up against Brissett. Shh. You would be so happy, Everett. Literally, I don't think anything can make you happier other than like literally if they started a practice squad quarterback that Lefty Dick Strong's grandson. Literally, that might
no.
The
Lefty Dick Strong's grandson got the Lefty Dick Strong blood in him. You don't want to be facing that.
Yeah, I mean, people forget Lefty Dick Strong, the first man to throw a forward pass, had the USC defense so lost. Just what a game, the 1931 Rose Bowl. Every single time I bring it up, I change the year on purpose. I remember I did 1938 before I did 1931. Next time it'll happen in the 20s. Okay. But yeah, a lot of shake-ups. I just seeing how much cap space the Raiders have right now.
If the Raiders do get Aaron Rodgers,
oh wait, okay,
you might be like your
big name on the market, Deron Payne. What if they could sign Deron Payne? Maybe they take Stroud, pray it works. They don't get Aaron Rodgers, that's fine. But go get some big name guys. I feel like they can attract a lot of guys to come to Las Vegas. It's Vegas, second, Devontae Adams, like Max. They have pieces there. They're a couple big names away. I think actually I was saying blow up the ship if you don't get Aaron Rodgers. Now I'm kind of thinking, wait, they could actually still make shit. Look at this cap space, Everett. They can make shit work. Like
that defense, I don't know how good that defense is already. So that's my issue. Like, I don't know any of the players that they have in their secondary. Like, I don't think that they have a good secondary. I haven't done the Raiders offseason yet, so I'm really not like acquainted to them. Like the funny thing is, like the nice thing is, like every time I do this offseason, like I get to learn teams more and more, which I really didn't before.
Very beneficial.
It's very beneficial for me. But from what I know, like they don't really have anybody in their secondary. Their linebackers are like okay, but I think they run a 3-4. And Levante David, I think, was on the Raiders,
not a
but
very strong secondary when I'm looking at it. Also, they've had some unfortunate draft luck at the defensive back position in recent years. We're not going to mention any names, but shout out my guy Arnett. Okay. But Max Crosby, Chandler Jones, they have a great pass rush too. However,
I thought they had Levante David in there. Or is he on the Bucks?
I think he's a free agent now.
Okay. Chandler Jones
but,
still there?
Yeah, they have Crosby and Chandler Jones, Devontae and Renfro, Waller. Like they got pieces. That I think they can attract guys. I think they can get guys to come. And it's also Vegas. Like that counts. That counts for something.
Like, if I honestly though, if I am,
forget what I said about blow it up if you don't get Aaron Rodgers.
If I'm the Raiders, I understand how big of a name Aaron Rodgers is and how great of a player he is. But looking for my future, like I want to be able to compete multiple years. Like that's my mindset.
I'm kind of on the board of don't do the Aaron Rodgers now, which
my mindset, if I was an NFL GM,
keep going.
If I was an NFL GM, my mindset is that I want to compete for years. Like I want to build my team so that it's competitive for more than just 1 year. And if that doesn't work, okay. But I want to at least have that baseline where it is going to be competitive and it's just one player away. But that also starts with the quarterback. And I don't want to be shelling out all this money in the quarterback. And I understand that.
And he might not even resign.
Right. So
if things don't go to plan next year, the thing is, like,
he's gone. I also know, like, all right, look at Patrick Mahomes, look at the Chiefs. Like Patrick Mahomes takes up they have they have like 3 players that take up 50% of that cap space, and Patrick Mahomes is literally like 30% of it. But also Patrick Mahomes was developed in that system. Like he is loyal to that system, and all the players want to come to play with him, and he's still younger, right? It's going to be the same thing with Justin Herbert and the same thing with Joe Burrow. If we take Aaron Rodgers,
Mahomes, you don't need to really put pieces around him.
If we take Rodgers and we stick him on the Raiders now as the team is, and the year that how old he is, he could be around for 1 year or 2 years. But what are you going to do after that? You have to go find a new quarterback, and then you're in the same issue. And you've already passed all these quarterbacks that we know are going to be good, specifically Caleb Williams next year. So that's just what I think. Like, I want to make sure that my team develops. Like, if I take CJ Stroud and I'm developing a young team around CJ Stroud and CJ Stroud works out, I don't give a shit if I have to pay him the most money in the NFL for a quarterback that year, because the team I've built around him is going to be good enough. I know he's a good enough player and young enough where I can still compete for years to come. But if I give Aaron Rodgers, an older quarterback, this contract, I might only compete for like a year or two. That's kind of the problem with the Rams right now is they don't have any future. They competed for a year or two.
I don't think it's like they could like cop like Lamar, right? Like, I don't know if there's any players who have just finished their rookie deal, quarterbacks, I mean, that are in that category that haven't already
Lamar's going to get franchise tag, but he still is a trade candidate. That's from what I've heard. He still could get traded.
Lamar's only. I feel
but that's also my point.
That's
also that is
next season.
Then go Aaron Rodgers. But that's also my point though. Those quarterbacks that are free agents that are young that fit that guideline, those teams re-up them. They re-sign them to those contracts, so they're not really ever available. The only time that does happen is like the only times it does happen is when you get franchise tagged so many times, like Kirk Cousins did, that they just leave. But Kirk Cousins' contract that year, like obviously was the most, but now it's kind of the middle of the pack. And I wouldn't say that he is a top 5 quarterback. I wouldn't say that he is a game-changing talent at the quarterback position. He is a great quarterback. He is a game manager quarterback, and he makes some great throws, but he's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not Justin Herbert. He's not Joe Burrow. He's not any of those young He's also like 33. He's not any of those young quarterbacks that are going to be making those plays that you build your team around. Kirk Cousins is one of the quarterbacks 100%. Who is, he's not Aaron Rodgers, but he's a couple steps below Aaron Rodgers. And he's one of those quarterbacks you want to have there because they're so good that you want them to be able to develop the quarterback that you will have that would turn into a Justin Herbert, a Joe Burrow.
When I'm just looking at the Raiders right now, though, Chandler Jones, Devontae Adams, even Waller, even like they're not getting any younger. I'd say they're in their peaks, about to be out of their peaks right now, where maybe with Chandler Jones out of your peak. I'm not sure. I think the Raiders, their window, let's say make a splash right now window, okay? I think, now this is going back to my don't get Aaron Rodgers, blow everything up point. Let's say you don't get Aaron Rodgers, you go CJ Stroud, because I don't think there's a quarterback that they can acquire that fulfills what you're talking about of a guy who merits that second contract and deserves to take up that much of a salary cap. I don't think there's any quarterback that they can just casually pick up right now.
But when I say that, I also mean specifically a quarterback they draft. Like that's the kind of thing. Like it's an ingrown, a homegrown talent.
I get that. That is very hard to do
because they're also developed. They're also developed in that system. But I think that it's a lot easier right now than people think. Like I understand you have to kind of invest a first round pick, and they don't always pan out. But if you do your scouting right, and if your developmental system is good enough, you'll have a quarterback. That doesn't mean they're going to be Patrick Mahomes. All right. It doesn't mean they're going to be Patrick Mahomes.
I also feel like Patrick Mahomes just skewed the whole fucking system.
Yes, I agree with that.
And now everyone has such high expectations.
But what I am saying is, like, if your developmental system, your quarterbacks, or like your coaches around you are good enough, the way that Mike White was playing this season when he was playing, that was a value of a quarterback where I would give them a second contract and have that.
We could slow down. But
like what I'm saying. But what I'm saying, it's a quarterback. But what I'm saying is like a quarterback where the system around them is so good that they develop into that system and they can play specific to your system and it works for you.
Now the one thing I'm just under the impression that any quarterback that has played for the Jets, like, I don't know, in the past 50 years has looked awful there, and there is no future around you. And
but okay, here's the other thing.
Because they're on the Jets,
like Tua,
okay?
Let's take Tua.
There's a lot of teams.
Let's take Tua for reference. All right. Tua
merits a second contract.
But no, this is my statement. Tua, if let's say Tua was drafted into the team that he is right now, okay? The team where he's been playing like that, he's been doing what they need him to do. He can make the plays they need him to make.
I think he's a guy who would get a second contract, and then that team would quickly realize how fucking awful this contract is, and we shouldn't have done this.
Or
that's what would happen.
Or look at Daniel Jones. Look at how Daniel Jones plays in his system with Brian Daboll. That doesn't mean that Daniel Jones, like, there wouldn't be another quarterback that doesn't do better than Daniel Jones in that system, because I think it's a good system. But what I am saying is, if Daniel Jones was in that system for day one, like, and you develop him, you can give him that money because you know that he's going to be able to do what you need to do for your team.
With the Giants, Daniel Jones, I don't think this is a hot take what I'm about to say. The Giants will never sniff a Super Bowl as long as Daniel Jones their quarterback.
No, I agree with that. I agree with that. No, you said it's a very cold take.
Yeah, no, that's just a statement, actually.
Yeah.
But I when I think of, like, okay,
you know what Daniel Jones reminds me of?
Upper echelon, like,
you know who Daniel Jones reminds me of?
This was my Niners point. It's like Jimmy G. I don't think the game manager can get them over the top. I think they need a fucking baller back there. I think that's what the Niners.
You know who Daniel Jones reminds me of? You know who Daniel Jones reminds me of? Ryan Tannehill. Am I not right?
I'm with.
He gives me Ryan Tannehill's vibes.
Both pretty fucking quick, pretty good runners. Ryan Tannehill used to play receiver. I mean, I don't hate that, but if that's your ceiling,
like, that's not great. It's not great.
Oh, yikes. Oh, watch out.
Okay, so I don't know if you have anything else specific that you wanted to go over.
Just real quick, Todd Monken, former Georgia offensive coordinator, has been hired to the Baltimore Ravens. There's nothing I love more than seeing the coaching carousel in the NFL start getting impacted with the college scene and vice versa. Nothing makes me more excited. So real quick, I think Todd Monken deserves a significant amount of praise for the success of Georgia over the past 2 seasons. Okay. Before Monken, Georgia had their elite defense. Okay. They had all the defensive parts. Okay. But they couldn't compete in any shootout games. If you put up 40 on Georgia, which I'm not saying is an easy task. Okay. It's not easy to do that. But if you put up 40 on Georgia, you win. That's how it worked. With Monken, though, if you put up 40 on Georgia or had a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter, that's not a guaranteed win.
What should also be impressive is the fact that he basically
did it with Stetson
Bennett. Yeah.
And he did it with Stetson Bennett.
That should be the impressive part.
That should
be the impressive part.
His best receiver was a 2-star receiver named Ladd McConkey Everett. Now, I know he had
they did Brock Bowers.
And I know Darnell Washington, but he deserves credit for getting and recruiting Brock Bowers and Darnell Washington. I don't think he recruited Darnell Washington, but Brock Bowers he did. Like, he gets credit for that. So I'm just saying this dude Todd Monken's about to. I mean, look what he did with Brock Bowers and Mark Andrews. He's about to have a year. Mark Andrews.
I'm going to have more people in our comments asking why Mark Andrews wasn't above.
Mark Andrews about to have a year.
No, I think I had Mark Andrews. No, I had Mark Andrews.
Like, literally, it fits with the Ravens. The Ravens don't have receivers. He did it at Georgia without receivers.
Oh, I had Mark Andrews. I had Mark Andrews below T.J. Hawkinson on my list. Yeah. T.J. Hawkinson.
I don't have major qualms with that. I think blocking matters. Now, I would say 30% I would say even 40%. Blocking has to matter. I think blocking is so like Gronk and Kelsey on that. You have a sixth tackle. You have a third O tackle. You have a sixth lineman. Like, that's such a big advantage. That's so big. And you don't get that out of Kelsey, even though Kelsey is the best receiving tight end. But I do, for certain teams, a Gronk or a Kittle would be better than Kelsey. Kittle is better for the Niners than Kelsey would be, and Kelsey's better for the Chiefs than Kittle would be.
I agree with that. Okay, I have two off seasons to do today. If we want to get into those, but these were two that were heavily requested, and I essentially was called out on one of them. So I had to do it. But still haven't seen anybody commenting or subscribing on YouTube for them. Like I said, if you really want to get our attention, that's the best way to do it. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and comment on YouTube. The only reason why these two got it is because saw how many people wanted them, and also somebody basically asked if it was even humanly possible to get one of these to work. So, and you'll know which one once I start talking about it, because it was heinous. They gave the Browns and the Bills cap managers a run for their money, really. So I thought you were going to say something.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, my bad. Thought you were about to get into your.
We're great at this. All right.
I found an interesting point, Everett. Just at the end of the week, I hope you wanted to really. I think you deserve to know this. Aaron Rodgers said that at the end of this week, he will begin his darkness retreat. And
that's the end of this week.
He said, "quote I'm going to my darkness retreat just to figure out if I'm going to play next year or retire." So that's why he's going on the darkness retreat.
So he could just be done.
He could retire after.
What if weekend. There's no way he retires the same year as Tom Brady, though.
No, hell no, bro.
No way.
Egotistical he is. He can't. No. He needs his own.
He needs his own year.
Retire.
He needs his own season.
You're right. You're completely.
There's
right.
Zero chance he retires.
I think this is more so I'm going to find out if I stay in Green Bay. Could that be what it is?
He's asking if he's going to retire in Green Bay or not.
Everett, what percentage chance do you give Aaron Rodgers of playing for the Green Bay Packers next year?
20.
I kind of would say, yeah, I was going to say something around that. Okay.
20%?
Yeah.
I just think like he doesn't. You're like 34. You're originally from the Bay Area. You've been in fucking Wisconsin for 14, 15 years, right?
You're the pettiest little shithead.
You're really egotistical.
The most sarcastic.
Why would I want to be in the freezing cold for another year on a terrible fucking team?
If I'm Aaron Rodgers, bro.
In a conference I can't compete in, a division I can't compete in.
We're going to Las Vegas.
Like, let me go somewhere where I'm gonna have a fun time. Las Vegas or New York, both of which sounds immensely better than Green Bay.
Yeah. I mean, just based on his wilderness retreats,
I'm not gonna lie though. If he ends up going to Las Vegas, I'm very concerned for the shenanigans that he'd get up to there. Yeah, that's bad. That's not good.
The off the field stories would be great.
Yes. Remember we were talking about what Jarrett Stidham blows on his salary for at like the Crabs table.
I don't remember this. What is the amount?
No. We made the joke. You made the joke. It was like the backup quarterback for the Raiders probably just blows his salary. The backup ended up becoming the starter because Derek Carr became the backup. But
no, yeah, I mean, dude, being a backup quarterback on the Raiders, bro. Oh my god, they gotta. The casinos should just ban you immediately the day you sign the contract for your own good, like for your
for
own
your
sake.
financial benefit.
Literally, they should ban you from casinos just for your safety. But okay,
All
it's
right,
time for some off season.
Saints off season.
Okay, real quick, let's preface the salary cap. How bad is it ever? Can you say it one more time? The number?
Negative $60 million. It's negative 60 million.
Yeah. Just a quick reminder, Everett. Like, would you say the average cut, trade extension, yeah, how much would you say cap space gets freed up for an average transaction?
For and like on what?
Just let's say you're combine them all. You're restructuring player, you're thinking of increasing cap space, cut, trade, resign, average around what, like 5-6 mil?
5-6 million,
per
probably per player, unless it's like a really big name player.
Yeah, but so let's based on this, Saints gotta Saints before they even start the moves, they gotta get rid of like how many people?
I think we have 25 transactions. So,
well, thank God this is Everett's episode to edit. All right, let's get into it.
All right, Saints offseason wish list. Restructure Cam Jordan, Ryan Ramczyk, Alvin Kamara, Marcus May, Tyrann Mathieu, Taysom Hill, and Demario Davis. Cut Jameis Winston, James Hurst, Zach Bond, Traquan Smith, Andres Pete, Michael Thomas. Trade Marshawn Lattimore. Extend Marcus Davenport and David Onyemata. Tender Jawan Johnson. And sign Rashard Higgins, Noah Brown, Phil Haynes, Cody Ford, Jimmy Garoppolo, Greedy Williams, Rock Ya-Sin, and Anthony Barr.
I'm kind of surprised why Cam Jordan stayed and Ramczyk stayed, but Lattimore is out of town.
So here's my thought process
so
behind
we're
it.
Staying old here. Is what
here's my thought process.
Stay old.
Here's my thought process though: is those contracts will expire soon, and they'll get. I think they'll have about 30 mil in cap space next year with all of this done, and they're going to be older. Yeah. But this is not a team like this restructure, this whole offseason. I'm not setting you up to be Super Bowl contenders. That's not what's happening here.
No. I agree.
And if you trade Marshawn Lattimore, trading Marshawn Lattimore, you're going to get at least a first round pick for Marshawn Lattimore.
What could they get from getting rid of Cam Jordan or like Ramczyk? What like how much could they free
Ramczyk, they probably could get
trade. Like how much do they free up money?
Oh, I think it's actually negative cap space in cutting.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
But like Cam Jordan, I would say you could trade him. I also just like I didn't think that like you got more money on a restructure than you did for trading him. Like there was more freed cap space. It's the same thing with Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill, I think you actually get more for trading him, but nobody's going to take that contract. And that's the same reason why like cutting like Andres Pete, like you get more for that than doing other stuff. So that's kind of why it's a give and take. It really is a give and take. Marshawn Lattimore, you get about $10 million, I think, in cap space for trading him. And I think that's more than what a restructure would be.
I'm more so looking at if you're gonna trade Lattimore, yeah, you're gonna get some.
Also like the thing I have in here is no Derek Carr. Jimmy Garoppolo is a little bit cheaper. Like I said, I'm not playing to win. Like you're playing to win, but you're not playing to win the Super Bowl.
I'd even say punt on the Jimmy G, bro. Let's go young.
The thing is, like, there's nobody in there that like would be quantifiable. Because the way I'm looking at it is, you're going to sign Jimmy Garoppolo for a 2-3 year deal. Next season, you're going to draft your quarterback of the future. Like, this is you're trying to get younger talents to fill like positions where they could develop more when you're getting your quarterback and everything started. But
I totally forgot they have Ian Book. No, they got quarterback locked
down. Yeah, okay. But like Greedy Williams, Rock Ya-Sin, both younger players, they'll have like 5-6 years. until I think until they're 30. They both have a couple years. Anthony Barr is older, but it just fills a need. Rashard Higgins, I think he's like 28, but still kind of fills a wide receiver need. Noah Brown, younger, could be a
Love
wide
Noah
receiver
Brown.
too. Could be a wide receiver too.
I think Noah Brown has been such a good wide receiver for the Cowboys.
I agree.
Still can't believe this man dipped Ohio State that early. Fuck, he should have stayed another year. But
I agree. I just don't.
Nice
I think that he's going to warrant
wide receiver 2.
He's going to warrant wide receiver 2 money. And that's
shout out his agent. Hell yeah.
I think that that's what the Saints will be, because he would be the wide receiver 2 on the Saints unless the Saints draft a wide receiver.
Yeah, him and Olave.
So I already know that whenever this goes up on TikTok, my housemate, my friend who's a Saints fan, is going to walk into my room and be like, "The fuck is this? Like what the fuck is wrong with you? Like what the fuck is this?"
I actually think he's going to look at that and be like, "Please move out." Like,
no, he's going to fucking pull up my lease agreement and burn it in front of my face. Just get the fuck out.
Yeah.
So I said I was gonna
me on the Lattimore trade.
I said I was going to go to talk to him through this to make sure I had like the Saints fans agenda.
Is there such thing as like a sign like a extension and trade in the NFL?
Yeah. I don't know how often it happens, but it's not. I don't think it's illegal.
No, I'm not saying illegal. I'm just saying, like, do teams do that? Like, I don't know if that's a thing.
I think it has happened, but I can't remember the last time that it did.
Because I think there's a scenario where like the Saints would save cap space by extending Cam Jordan trading than just straight up trading. I feel like there's some.
Well, his contract, if you continue to extend it, that's more money down the line for an older player that's not going to be playing for you. That's the same thing. So for like Marcus Davenport, for Marcus Davenport and David Onyemata, like they both have hits against the cap for next year because they're like voided years. Marcus Davenport is because of a 5th-year option, and David Onyemata is because of a voided year. So essentially, if you do not extend them, you're going to have to pay out like $10 million per each of them for them not to play for your team.
Yeah. You don't want to do that. You're not going to have a good
time. You're not going to have a good time. All right.
No.
Second off season of the day. This will be my last off season of the day. Bengals off season. I chose this one. I'll just say I chose this one because somebody made a pretty funny comment about the Bengals and us doing their offseason. So shout out to you. I don't remember your name, but it was pretty good. I know I texted it to Grant.
He deserves this.
He deserves this one.
He had
honestly, the more creative the comments, and the more likely I am to see them, and the more likely than I will be to do them. Because I want to tag some humor comments for these ones.
Okay, I got it. Do the Bengals, please. I need help to overcome the fact that Chiefs got helped in the Super Bowl and AFC champ game. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
You gave us a great reason. You explained perfectly the emotions wrapped up. And as a Charger fan who has nightmares of Mahomes, I really resonate with what you said. The Chiefs literally get handed free wins. But yeah, that struck a chord with me.
Yeah, I agree. So this is going to be a little bit of a difficult offseason because they have cap space. They actually have a decent amount of cap space, but when you extend Joe Burrow and Jesse Bates, you get.
I think Bates gone. You kept him. I think
I kept him.
Oh, okay.
I kept him. He's 26 years old. He's the best. He's one of, if not the best safety in the NFL. I think you have to keep him with that defense.
But I think they'd be better off. I get he's one of the best safeties in the NFL. I even regret a little bit giving Derwin all that money. I regret that. Like, I don't think safeties should ever be getting as much money. Even if you are that good, I would never just pay a safety that much.
He had his best season of his career last year.
I don't care.
Okay. All right. Well, this is why it's
my opinion.
This is why it's my offseason. All right. Bengals offseason. Cut Joe Mixon and Tyler Boyd. Restructure Trey Hendrickson, Lael Collins, Mike Hilton, and DJ Reader. Re-sign Jesse Bates and Samaje Perine. Extend Joe Shiesty. And sign Josh Oliver, Trey Herndon, CJ Beathard, and Rashard Higgins. There you go.
I also am hearing some things like where the Bengals might move off of Leal. I was hearing some rumors of
The
that,
thing is,
but
like,
I'm looking at it. He's really cheap.
he's really cheap. You restructure him. Obviously, he was hurt last year. I think that he only played one season, give him a second chance because arguably, like,
Yeah, I'm more
it
so
can only
surprised
really get
he's cheap.
worse at right tackle.
Yeah, 100%, bro. Jackson
So,
Carmen, bro. Oh my.
I mean, I give him that opportunity. It's not like you're gonna go out here and go trade for one of the better right tackles in the league. Like, you're not gonna get Ryan Ramczyk. Like, Ryan Ramczyk's not on the market.
I think it's potential. They might go. Might take that Ohio State boy, DeJuan Jones. I think they have a mid-second round pick.
It is, and we'll see how it goes. And I might have to do an updated one. But this was, I'm not gonna lie, the Bengals was a very difficult offseason. But like I said, extend Joe Burrow, extend Joe Shiesty, sign
Hubbard pretty cheap too.
Hubbard will still be there. I also think like I don't have Jermaine Pratt in here. Like I think after that fucking Super Bowl outburst, ship him out.
What about
ship him
what
out?
about Joseph Osai?
He's gonna. I think that Trey Hendrickson and him play the exact same position on the edge.
Yeah.
I honestly think that they'll convert. If he isn't already playing it, he'll become the outside linebacker that they basically will need in order for everybody to get replaced.
Sample played a really big role down the stretch for the Bengals.
Tulane.
Like, I know. Like,
yeah.
Very big role. So, I mean,
also,
they have a good rotation. They have a very good D-line rotation.
Also, though, like Josh Oliver, they're gonna lose Hayden Hurst. And I know that Hayden Hurst, people have been like one of the better tight ends in the league. He's also 29. And he's only been there for 1 year, but they don't have the money to be able to sign him, give Joe Burrow and do all this stuff. Like they have to cut Tyler Boyd in order to make ends meet.
And also Hayden Hurst is not like a
priority. I think that tight ends for the most part, I think tight ends, like you have to have certain kind of qualifications to be fair, but also like you can probably get, as long as somebody fills the intangible, you can make them work. Like Josh Oliver is like 6'5". He's a little bit skinnier, but like he'll still work. They still have I think they still have another tight end in there still. So it's all possible. It's all possible.
You don't have Von Bell re-signing, no?
No, because so the thing is they drafted Daxton Hill. He's playing one side.
Right? Neither. Yeah.
They were gonna go for about $10 million.
No, yeah, I was saying,
him and Trey Flowers both were gonna go
to get paid.
So they just can't afford it, and they still have other corners that are pretty good. I think Chidobe Awuzie is coming back. So like they'll still be good there, and they have draft picks.
They're contending.
So like a lot of people have to remember when I do these off seasons, like I'm not including the draft picks that they're going to get. So that's going to be able to fill a lot of those depth positions that they're going to need. Yes. So tight end, corner, linebacker, like those are three things.
Yeah. Right. The thing is, like, Cincy just says 29.
Huh?
They just have pick 29 as of now, but they can go get some more.
They only have the first round pick. They don't have any other pick in the draft.
Oh no, I was just talking. Oh, I thought you were saying. Oh, never mind. You're talking about later round picks.
I was talking about the whole draft.
Yeah. I thought you were talking about first round. I was like,
well, they're more
in the first round. Like,
more than just more players than just a first round pick make impact. So.
No, I know.
But yeah, that is the Bengals off season. I know I'm gonna get torched for that one, but you're welcome. So there you go.
I do think, Bengals, it's such a weird, like they got a pass rush duo, they got a wide receiver duo, like they have so many.
That's the thing also, by the way,
and they have it, and it's
like, that's the thing is like they're doing. I'm looking at this for next season. I'm not looking at it for 5 years in the future. I'm not looking at it 2 years in the future.
I'm saying if you're the Bengals, you should be treating this win now on.
Because also like this is what I'm looking at is you re-sign Jesse Bates, right? You're competing next year. Jesse Bates, you re-sign him this season, but he could be traded next year. You could get some stuff for him, and you could extend Jamar Chase, potentially T. Higgins too. So I mean, like it's all possible to make everything work.
Yeah, I have a feeling that teams I don't know. Just if I was doing it, I'm not sure how sold I'd be on the idea of like signing Jesse Bates to a long-term deal, but being like, yeah, but we could just trade him after a season. Like, I feel like
It's a
if they
matter of
do
how
sign him, they're
contract works.
committing. I think like
It's all a matter of cap space. That's the way that I'm looking at it season to season.
I think Jesse Bates is gonna command a fat ass contract. Like,
He will get about $14.5-15 million a year.
I think he's just I wouldn't give
But
him
also, here's the thing: is the Bengals will take Joe Burrow's 5th-year option and then extend him on top of that. So technically, the cap hit next year will be less because it will be his 5th-year option. So that kind of allows everything to actually work.
I think that's what went on with Derwin James, because he's still like on his last like his extension doesn't kick in until after this season.
Yeah.
Like he signed his extension with like 2 years remaining on his deal. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, so that's
like,
that's kind of what will happen with Joe Burrow. So that allows next year's contract, like cap space, to be a little bit lighter. You'll still have to cut Tyler Boyd, but I mean, you could trade him, I guess. But I just think that that's inevitable. So it sucks because obviously he's a great wide receiver. Having him be your wide receiver 3 is
no, it sucks breaking up the teams. Like, no one likes to admit it, but hey, it's the truth of the NFL. You can't stick together forever. Like,
yeah,
there's moving parts all the time.
Yeah, it does suck, but like their team is also really good as is. Like, there's not much that they have to do to fix it, and that's why there's not much in free agency for me to actually add. But I am basically getting players cheaper than they were. I think that they're going to have to draft a corner probably in the first round. Like, that's what they're going to have to do. But I think you do that, then you'll draft probably a linebacker, draft wide receiver. Those will be your 31st picks. After that, maybe a tight end. Like, they could also get Michael Mayer late in the first round. It's also a possibility.
Yeah. I
know you're not a
just
big
feel
fan
like
of him.
first
You're not a
round
big fan of
tight
him.
ends, it's just like, yeah, what's the point?
I know you're not a big fan of him, but still,
Neither here nor there. Okay. Sorry.
I think that they're going to be perfectly fine. So, but with that,
but Bengals, I mean, shit, you got a good future. I mean, it's not like, regardless of what happens, you still have Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. Like, I mean, you're still good.
But with that, thank you guys so much for watching, listening. Rate us 5 stars. You can check us out on TikTok at WaterboyPod, on Twitter, and on Spotify, all at WaterboyPod. Subscribe to us on YouTube. You can find our own personal Twitter accounts right here. We're also on TikTok. With that, Waterboy's out.